2 days ago, my fiancée of 10 years told another man she loved him. She keeps her eyes locked on her phone when I grab it to change the music, or asks for it back when I grab it to Google something. I found messages in her iPhone trash that she was talking to another man, one whom I've confronted her about years ago. She tried to deny it at first. Then I told her I already knew and had proof. She said she slept with him 2 times on different occasions last year, and that was it. I asked why she texted him 2 days ago, telling him she loves him, and calling him baby. She denies it meant anything. She sent him a message saying she was done with him, and blocked his number. He replied with a thumbs up. It's Mother's Day, so he was with his wife. She's about to change her number, and blocked him on all social media sites. She says she wasn't going to meet up with him. I don't know, all signs point to yes. She's asking for my forgiveness, and wants to work things out. I'm really hurt and betrayed. I made the mistake in asking questions on when, where, and why. All daggers to my heart. We have a child together. He's still young and doesn't comprehend the situation. Every inch of me is telling myself to leave. 10 years is lost. My wife's journal detailed the 4 times a spiritual guru from Facebook came inside her. For context, I've been married for 10 years. We've been together for 15, and we have 2 children. While my wife and kids were away on a trip to the forest, I was doing some tidying up and accidentally came across her notebook where she writes down her dreams. I had no intention of reading it, but a loose sheet of paper fell out. On it, in quite graphic detail, was a description of a sexual act. Next to it were dates and the full name of a man I recognized from my wife's Facebook. She often watches his videos. Below that was a description of how wonderfully they made love and how he came inside her. There were 4 dates listed, the first one from a year ago. As it happens, for roughly the past year, my wife has stopped having sex with me. There were all sorts of excuses, and eventually she blew up over some nonsense, that I had complimented her sister, and declared that she had lost all desire for me. She made a huge scene, and the whole situation was so absurd that I didn't even defend myself. I just figured I'd wait it out. But the discovery was about to get even more devastating. Now I see I could wait until the end of the world, because that fight was nothing but a perfect excuse. I don't know what to do. My wife still hasn't come back, and I don't know if I can even look her in the face. I don't want to make a scene in front of the children, but something has happened that should never have happened. I have no idea what to do. For the first time in my life, I'm completely lost. We have not shared a bedroom for a year, which was the time when she, according to her notes, started cheating. Still, I never suspected this outcome. I do not know this guy. He lives in a different city, and she knows him from Facebook. He writes some strange posts about holy energy, spirit, and that kind of weird stuff. She was listening to his videos, but I never imagined she was attracted to him. Obviously, I missed the fact that she started writing with him, and took the opportunity when she went alone on a short holiday last year to sleep with him. To make it worse, I even advised her to go so she could relax without the kids. The same story happened this year, a short trip alone. But as I never imagined she might cheat on me, I was never worried. Reddit had a lot to say about this. The top comment, from user SwansongBlue, with 117 upvotes, reads, "Keep your powder dry, original poster. You are currently in a very powerful position. You know, and she doesn't know that you know. Knowledge is power. Use it wisely. The very moment that you confront her, your whole world will go into a tailspin, completely out of your control. Gather evidence. Photograph the relevant pages. It's guaranteed that she will say that these were just translated daydreams. Start monitoring her communications and journeys. Get information on her affair partner. If he's married or has a partner, then his life should be nuked. Get all of your finances in order. Sad to say it, but you need to get your children DNA tested. Seek legal advice sooner rather than later. And control the narrative. Don't let her paint you as a bad husband to her friends and family. Stay calm, and good luck." Because I wouldn't leave the house for her at midnight, my mom told me I should get used to being on the street. So she worked me up drunk to go walk to get her a charger, and I said no. Now she is mad and saying that I want to be on the street. I am a 15-year-old male. The only way I see myself being the jerk is by disobeying. My mother's boyfriend ended up finding my post, and it turned into a big argument. I called my grandpa, and he is coming to get me. I will be staying there with him for a while. That is where the original poster left off, but the comment section had a lot to say about this parenting situation. One reader, user Pepper the Demon, with 230 upvotes, put it bluntly. Honey, you are 15. Your mother is not your responsibility, and I am sorry she asked this of you. It might seem insignificant to some, but asking your child to walk somewhere alone at night to get a charger is ridiculous. And even if you just needed to get one from another room, why is she waking you up to tell you that? You are not the jerk at all. Strong words from user Pepper the Demon. Another commenter, user FitMagician7139, weighed in as well. So the mother's boyfriend ended up finding the post and it turned into a big argument. I called my grandpa and he is coming to get me. I will be staying there with him for a while. That was user FitMagician7139. Let me know in the comments which side you are on. Up next, he paid me $100 not to sell my car, then demanded a refund when he decided he didn't want it. I accepted the offer, but it was late in the day and the banks were closed. He asked if he could come back the next day after he got the money. I said I have other interested buyers, but I'll hold it for him and not sell to anyone else for $100 down. He agreed, paid me $100 on Venmo, but then did not show up the next day. He then messaged me and said he found a different car for $300 cheaper and wants me to refund him his $100. I told him no, because he wasted my time and I lost out on other potential buyers. What is the take here? That's where the original poster left off, but the comment section had a lot to say. The top reply, from user NYC Storyteller, with 345 upvotes, put it bluntly. Not the jerk. His deposit was to hold the car, with the intent to purchase. When he backed out, he lost the deposit. That was user NYC Storyteller. And then things got even more interesting. Another commenter, user JasonH300, weighed in. Not the jerk. The point of a deposit is to hold something that might have otherwise been sold to the next person in line. You have lost the next person's, so the deposit is fair compensation. You should have asked for 10%. Then if you get lowballed after the sale falls through, you can let it go for a little less and not lose money. That was user JasonH300. Finally, user Lactating Almonds added, not the jerk. That is exactly what a deposit is for. Tell him no and block and move on. The deposit is so that the seller holds the car. That is what the seller did. The fact that the buyer chose not to buy is irrelevant. The deposit holds the car, and that is what the original poster did. End of reply from user Lactating Almonds. Let me know in the comments which side you are on. My father refused my offer to drive him to the ER for a cat scratch, but now demands I pay for the ambulance he called instead. Megatron is the kind of cat that likes to be near people and lord over them from the cat tree, but does not want to be petted. He will hiss and raise his fur and posture if you break his no-touchy rule. He makes it very clear that he's unhappy. This is fine by me, but every time my dad, 66, male, comes to visit, he tries to pet Megatron despite my reminders that the cat doesn't like it. A couple of months ago, my dad was at my house and I had to leave to run an errand. I had just reminded him not to touch Megatron before I left. Well, when I got back about 15 minutes later, my dad's hand was scratched up and bleeding, and Megatron was very angry. Dad insisted that he just scratched at Megatron's butt a little, and that his cat likes that, so he thought Megatron would too. Megatron begged to differ. Knowing that cat claws can carry a lot of germs, I pushed for Dad to let me take him to the ER. He refused several times. Later, after he went home, his injured hand and arm became numb. He called an ambulance and ended up being in the hospital for a couple of days on antibiotics for the injuries. I felt awful, but also frustrated because I've been telling him to leave Megatron alone for 6 years now. But that wasn't the worst part. Dad has now received an ambulance bill and keeps bringing it up. I feel guilty that I haven't paid it. But not only do I not have the money, I warned him to avoid the cat and did offer to take him to the ER right away. He refused to listen to me at every step of the way. His other costs were covered by insurance, by the way. So, would I be the jerk if I don't pay for the ambulance? That's where the original poster left off, but the comment section had a lot to say about her father's stubbornness. The top reply, from user ShutdownSoul, with 325 upvotes, put it bluntly. Who calls an ambulance if you can still walk and aren't losing pints of blood? Flying first class instead of coach isn't your problem. That was user ShutdownSoul. Another commenter, user Pinbacker11, who earned 132 upvotes, weighed in with this. Not the jerk. You warned him many times. You offered immediate help and a solution. It was his decision to not listen. From that moment, your responsibility ended. Don't feel guilty, and don't get guilt-tripped into paying. End of reply from user Pinbacker11. Then user CG14 added their perspective. Not the jerk. You warned him multiple times about the cat. He chose not to listen, and he kept choosing to ignore you when you told him to go to the emergency room. If he had, it probably wouldn't have cost him an arm and a leg to call an ambulance. Just tell him straight up that he's reaping what he's sown by refusing to listen and being stubborn every step of the way. Will he learn from this? Probably not. But at least that hospital bill will put a dent in his wallet, and hopefully, it'll make him less inclined to bother cats. Strong words from user CG14. Let me know in the comments which side you're on.